Hey guys, welcome to another video. And when I'm in this shot of the frame, you probably already know what time it is. Start your own favorite music if you want music. And well, let's unbox some packages. And we have a whole variety today. Normally I try to do some sorting of the packages, but this time it's going to be quite random because I have no clue anymore. Because this is, well, I don't know. We'll see. There we go. Oh, okay. It's fuses. So I got some 2 amp fuses and some 5 amp fuses and more 2 amp fuses. Cool. And these should be pretty good quality because the listing would have said zinc. And well, you want zinc fuses, not aluminium, as they try to sell you for cheaper. And well, 2 and 5 amp are good for my testing and generally running LEDs and stuff like that. Good. Cable. Yes. I always need cable. Because, well, you know, it's cable. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was wondering about the small, tiny UTP cables. Wow, this UTP cable is like really narrow or thin. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, I always wrestle with these stupid cable does. Because I use normal ones, and I like using Cat 6A or 7 or shielded Ethernet cable for my normal connection links. But here on the disk, having a very thick, stiff Ethernet cable, well, it often got in the way. And this stuff, wow, that is really thin. And well, as you can see, it doesn't really bend from itself, so it's pretty good. And well, I got several different lengths, and I guess I'll be testing those. And well, as I said, they're for on my desk, so I don't really need a high transfer speed or 10 gigabit power. I just need them to work, and maybe do a little bit PoE. I guess I could do some PoE testing on these. Would you guys be interested in that? Let me know in the comments. Well, I know what's probably in here then, and let's see. Well, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at that. It's the same thing. So again, extra thin UTP cable. Now, again, don't use that for like 10 gigabit or stuff like that, or anything you want to be longer than a few meters from the switch. But if it's for an on-desk purpose like this, who knows? They might be okay. So I got some from the previous Samzhe, and this is from, well, one we all know, it's Ugreen, and they generally make decent products. Let's see what it says on here. Category 6A. That would mean it would have to be shielded. Not sure about that. AWG-32. Yep, that's pretty thin. I think the cables I use in the house are, well, they're 7A, but still, they're AWG-24. So, really thin, but very flexible. And, yeah, I'll test those out. And if enough people in the comments ask for it, I'll maybe make a video about it, I guess. I mean, hey, that's what the YouTube channel is for. E2006 4-slot SATA. Well, if you watched the last live stream about me building a new server with a Chia storage themed build, but basically you just want to have a lot of storage in one server for Chia or for any other purpose, you'll have seen these bays, and I only had one because, as I often say, if I want more, I often order them from different sellers and then see which one arrives first. So this is a hot swap bay thingy. It's plastic fantastic, but it's for SSDs, that's okay. And it goes in a 5 1/4 bay. It takes in 1 Molex, has a little fan. Not sure about that. and then 4 SATA connections, and yeah, you can easily hot swap them. And I hoped, because it had 4 LEDs for the HDDs, it said, or in my case SSDs, that they would have activity, but it only has a single activity LED that's shared over all the drives. That kind of sucks, but it's okay. It's okay. So far, I've been using it for, well, I guess by the time this video comes out, for the past week. And so far, the server and everything that we built during the live stream has performed perfectly fine. I haven't had a single issue, actually. Well, there's one of the SAS bays, but I think it's one of the cables that's bad, so I'm waiting for extra cables to arrive. Who knows, maybe they're in this pile, and then I'll test that. But other than that, server's been running 24 hours a day, and yeah, no problems. So, this is, yeah, I don't know. Let's get this off of the screen. Go away, crap. I've been thinking I should order some big bins so that I can sort plastic and cardboard and other stuff during the unboxing already, because I always have a lot of cleanup work to do. But I have one for plastic right now, so that's easy. Okay, oh yes. So this is vaguely related to the Chia project, but not really. Ah yes. So the fuses we get with this, I trust a lot less than the fuses I just bought, because these are just generic cheap fuses, and although it says 5 amp on there, it'll probably do like 10 amps for a minute or so. But okay. So this is a fuse box which has 2 input terminals for I believe plus and minus. Yeah, so this is minus and this is plus. You're looking from the top, so that's easy. So plus here, minus here. And those then come... How do you connect it again? Yeah, one side, I believe, is all plus, and this side is all minus, so negative. And then this side is all positive. So I bought this for the Chia project. I'll probably not use it in the end, but if I wanted to hook up a lot of hard disks to 12 volt, currently I have this giant bank of adapters, and well, that's kind of crap. So you could take like a 200, 300 watt 12 volt power supply, hook them up to these big posts, and then run individual cables, which would be individually fused per terminal, and you then have a terminal for plus and minus. So yeah. But as I said, I'm probably not going to use it in this project. You could also use it for LEDs and other stuff, although I'm not sure how big of a current it could carry. Maybe the listing said that. I'll have it on the screen if it did. It's probably able to take a good 20, 30 amps probably. But yeah, so if you want to distribute, like, as I said, for a lot of hard disks or for a lot of other components, if you have a lot of 12 volt components that just need 12 volt and don't need a separate adapter, you could buy a big power supply and distribute it like that. So we're going to do this one real quick, because guess what? It's exactly the same thing. Okay, oh, wait, no, how many did I order? Because maybe I've been clicking too much. Oh, clicking fever. Okay, yeah, let's see. I don't know, this one's packaged air. Oh, okay, well, it's good I didn't cut into that. This is something very different. This is for a project I'm, well, tinkering, toying with. But in its current form, that's not doing what I wanted to do. But I needed some big heat shrink, and this should be 4-to-1 or 3-to-1 double-walled, so glue-lined heat shrink, where I could put something really big in it and then shrink it small to make it watertight, basically. And probably you'd have to use different sizes, so especially if you start out with a big size like this, you'll have to shrink it down and then maybe put a smaller size over it to get it really watertight to the cable or whatever else you're using. But yeah, really big heat shrink for projects I'm planning to do. Yes, well, this is good. It's listed. Screws. It's screws. Well, that much is obvious. I think it's actually for the same project. I think there's actually screws loose in there. No. What kind of screws do we have? Let's see here. Oh, we got a tiny little screwdriver. Interesting. Yeah, screws really need to be packed in bubble wrap because, well, you don't want to damage the screws. Let's see here. We have M2 and M3, and I think, oh, and M2.5. So this is actually a good kit if you're using QuinLED board, because I use M2 and M2.5 on my modules currently, I believe. Yeah, let's see. Oh wow, it's actually sealed. Not anymore. Okay, still sealed. Not anymore. Okay, yeah, little screws, tiny little screws for all kinds of purposes, I guess. Yeah. Cool. And different lengths. That's why you get M2, but then lots of them. And these would be the same thing. I think these are all M3. Yeah, so this is 3 times 20, so that's 20 millimeter, I think, so 2 centimeters. And this is then 5, so it's a lot shorter. I got a lot of nuts because, well, I want nuts sometimes. And 3 times 6, yeah. Okay, I'll give you a sneak preview, but I'm not sure I'm ever even going to release this. So keep that in mind. Oh, stuck, okay. So this is a little module I've been working on. I call it a data booster. And basically it takes VCC and data in, and it then level shifts it again to 5 volt and then puts it out. Now I've been working on several sizes of this board. So for instance, I have a really tiny board here. And this one is called the Maxi. And what I thought was like, okay, I could make M3 terminals on here. And then you could power inject without having to solder. Now, in its current form, this is not working the way I want it to, so this will not be released anytime soon or ever. And, well, I'm just tinkering with the designs and seeing if it's a viable project, because especially if you're extending LED strip, the amount of power that's behind it is a lot less than if you go directly from a QuinLED module, for instance, with a level shifter. So if you could put an inline level shifter and also use that point for power injection without having to solder, well, I think a lot of people might like that, but, you know, I'm always tinkering on stuff behind the scenes. Ah, yes. Well, we don't have to guess what's in here. Oh, man. Okay, I'll find a use for these at some point. Yep, guess what? It's the same thing. Oh, no. They're called. Oh, no. Okay. Well, this way. We're rambling through packages really quickly. Oh, yeah. Sounds like something we just unpacked. Yep, more screws. This from Nindigen. We already had those on a QuinBoxed before. And these are M5, M4, M3, M2.5, M2, but also M6, 8, 10, and 12. So from really small to really, really big. But these are just nuts. And these are special nuts because they're called locking nuts. So in theory, when you twist those on, you don't rely only on the friction of the metal, but it also has, as you can see, this little ring here, which will keep the lock, the nut basically tightened. So that even if there's vibration or other stuff, it won't come loose. And again, it's for this project because, well, I just didn't have any locking nuts. So, and then we have 3 times 5 millimeter, 3 times 4 millimeter, and 3 times 4 millimeter. What? Oh, this has a DNBM, and this is 304 TM, so I think it's a different head. Not sure. But yeah, more bolts and nuts and screws, because I needed M3 stuff, and I was like, why don't I have enough M3 stuff? I'm going to order all the M3 stuff. That's basically how it goes with me. Order all the things. At some point, this room has to become full. Of course, I don't have a completely filled up background at all. Lots of space there. Lots of space everywhere. At some point, I won't fit in the room myself anymore. We'll see. We'll see. Same thing. More heat shrink, but this time in clear form. And again, really big sizes, and then a few step downs, so that you can also step it down. And again, it should be 3 to 4 times shrinkage. And yeah, same thing for waterproofing things outside, basically. So you can put the thing in the heat shrink and then heat shrink around it, and then put some epoxy or hot glue or something like that in there, and that will give you a very good watertight bond. Like this thing. You can put this in there. Anyway. I always share my secrets before they're done. Oh, wait. This package has control the machine. Yes. So if you have rogue machines and you need to get control back, that's what these are for. But in reality, I believe these are constant current DC circuit dimmers. I guess you could call them dimmers, drivers. Let's use the scissors. Oh no, let's use the packaging itself. But these can take a pretty high voltage in and then transform them to constant current LED voltages. So it says LED controller, and it's rated up to, or it's set to 1 amp, so it'll output 1 amp continuous, so not constant voltage, but constant current. And, well, for driving LEDs, these can come in handy, and well, I wanted to do some tests with them. So, I got a few, and, well, at some point, I will do some tests with them. But these, some people in the Discord already are using these, and they like them, so I was like, okay, let's get a few, because I've had some plans for that over the years. Haven't had time to work on those, but who knows at some point. Oh, this feels very thin. Well, even the packaging feels very thin. What the? Oh, okay. I think these... That's it. I think these are reed sensors. So basically they're magnetic contact sensors, and if they're not stuck, you have 2 sides. And I'm not sure if I got the normally open or normally closed type, but basically you can run a current through them, and if they're normally closed, if they're normally open, the current won't connect. But then if you connect these together, like this, then there's a magnetic switch in there, which will then connect the wires and make a current flow. So that way you could make a switch. So like for doors or windows or anything like that, you could use that as a trigger that an action changed, for instance. So maybe the door is open or the window is open, or if you want the light to turn on when you open the cupboard or something like that. They're called reed switches, can be used for that. Okay. Luxembourg. Okay, sure. Oh, no, too deep. Oh, there's a package in my package. Okay. Sure, why not? Okay. There's a box in my package I wonder what's in here. No. Oh, that's from Allnet. That's my shop partner in China. Why did they send me this? Okay, it's a Dig-Uno and a Dig-Quad. And they're still sealed. Okay, and they come with the acrylic kit we sell as an optional extra. I don't remember why they sent me this. I'll have to read back in my chat logs because I really don't remember right now. But yeah, if you order a Dig-Uno or a Dig-Quad, this is basically how it'll arrive. A nice, neat little box and packaged inside nicely. Yeah, so I guess you just got the customer experience of buying a QuinLED from Allnet, which I often refer to as my worldwide store. But hey, it's excellently packaged, so yeah. Okay. Oh, well, we're burning through these packages. What the hell is in here? Let's find out. Oh, yeah, okay. These actually go with the fuses I just showed you. And the fuse boxes or terminals or whatever. These are, well, plugs, as you can see. But these often come in two forms. And these should be, instead of the 5.5 times 2.1 millimeter, these should be the 5.5 times 2.5 millimeter. Because that's what a Seagate disk takes. But as I said, I just built a storage server, so I'm not going to use these for that. But having these around is often very handy for LED projects and stuff like that. Now, don't run too much current through them. I wouldn't use them above 3 amp continuously, max 5 amp peak. But still, especially if you're running like 12 volt LEDs, these can often be used to make your connections a little bit easier. But don't run too much power to them. A barrel plug is just limited in the amount of power it can do. So keep that in mind. I'm trying to keep it off the screen, but it's not working. Okay. We have one bag and then 2 packages left. So, okay, yes. Again, very nondescript. Okay, sure. I often use multiple fans connected to a single header. As everyone knows who's watched the channel, I like Noctua PWM fans. Oh, no, wait. These are actually for a different project. Actually, these could go together. So, I use fans in more capacity than in computers. I often also use them externally if I just want some airflow over some external disks, for instance, or when I'm soldering or doing other stuff. So I just got some nicely pre-made cables, and you can snip off this end and maybe, for instance, make such a plug on it, and then you can use a simple 12 volt adapter to run fans externally for anywhere you might need airflow. And, well, I always have a crap ton of PC fans because I always replace them. So, yeah, just to make that easier. Well, okay, let's leave this box as last. This one was very interesting because this is plaques. Okay. What kind of plaque is this? Yeah, let's open it here. Well, somewhat like that. Sure, that's fine. That's fine. Professional unboxer after 6,000 QuinBoxed episodes. Hey, we haven't really cut into a lot yet. I'm not saying anything, but we haven't cut into a lot yet. Ah, nice. Okay, cool. Let me show you what this is, because we're near the end anyway. This is a big 2. Yes, this is literally a big number 2. But it has LEDs. It's well packaged, that's for sure. Okay, there's some cables coming out of there. Let's see what they included for me. Okay, power supply. It's a weather sealed power supply. And it's 110 volt to 260. That's good. Output 12 volt, 1 amp, 12 watt. Okay, sure. Red, negative. Okay, yeah. Okay, sure. It's a pretty standard little power supply. That's fine. Not sure we're going to use that, but we'll see. We'll see. And what's this? DC 12 volt, 2017 8mm. This is LED strip, LED strip. But shouldn't the LED strip already be in there? Oh, okay. It's extra cables. Well, I guess the LED strip is already in there. And then they included some instructions, maybe. Oh, okay. That's a drill pattern. That's easy. So you know where to drill on the wall to hook up your two. See if it matches. Probably does. Yep. Matches perfectly. Cool. That's nice to include that. Okay. And some extra cable to, well, connect it wherever you need. And they also give you some plugs, it seems. Okay. Now, the idea is there's a strip in here with LEDs, and I believe I selected the standard warm white type of thing. Oh. Okay, so there are inserts that you can twist in. Okay. And then I guess you can plug them into the hole, and they have a little bit of distance, because that's the thing. You wanted to have a little bit of distance from the wall. But anyway, the idea is that, well, it's still plastic, but okay. The LED strip will be in here, but this is acrylic backing, and, well, we'll let the light shine through. And I think that'll look nice for a normal warm white, sure. But we can put something else in there. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe this is going to be another live stream project. That's why I bought it. So, yeah. I don't actually know if I'll ever put it on the house, because, well, this was not discussed with the girlfriend. Some nice cable. It's not flimsy, shitty cable. But, yeah, we'll see. Maybe we should put RGBW in there, so we at least have white. Or we could do the 320, I don't even remember, the 300 something LEDs per meter, 332. Of course, that wouldn't really look great because it'd be all diffused, so you wouldn't have the definition. Maybe just some 144 LED, like what I have in the background. That's still 12 volt, so it's easy to wire up. Well, who knows? We'll see. Let me know in the comments, because that also helps the YouTube algorithm, if you'd like to see this in a live stream sometime where we built this. Right? I think that's cool. So this is definitely the heaviest package, and it got some damage along the way. And, well, I had to pay duty. But in here are lots of DC-DC converters, and there's different types. Let me just get them out, because there is a giant amount. Okay, let's start with the small ones, because on Aliexpress you have several brands selling these. They're mainly the same thing, I think, produced by one factory or shop. But these are XWST, and this is a 5 volt 5 amp output with 12 to 24 volts in. And this is again the same thing, yeah, because I needed multiple of those. Okay, this is 5 volt 10 amp out, again 12 to 24 volt in. And there's always a range. It doesn't have to be exactly 12 or 24 volt, it can be up to 30 or 40 volt, depends on the converter. 5 volt 10 amp out. This is a really tiny one, 5 volt 25 watts, so that's 5 amps. Oh yeah, that says here 5 amps. Okay. And then we have some chunky boys. So this is 12 volt 24 volt in, and I believe it's up to 40, but whatever. 5 volt 15 amp out, and then, well, you need chunky heat sinks and stuff like that. Another 15 amp. Another 15 amp. And another 15 amp or 75 watt, but that's the same thing. So basically what my idea for these is, when you're doing power distribution for LEDs, it's often with 5 volt at some point, when you reach like 10 meters of cable, you need a cable this thick to be able to run any kind of decent amount of current, or not have too much voltage drop, basically. So the idea is, okay, what if we use a 24 volt power supply? We can still use a QuinLED-Dig-Quad for the distribution, for instance, and fusing, but then with 24 volt, that's about 5 times as high as 5 volt. So your voltage drop, or the cable thickness needed, would be a lot less. So especially for projects where people always do this, and then in the YouTube comments or in Discord, they go like, yeah, I'm gonna make a 60 meter LED project with 5 volt LEDs. And I'm like, well, how are you gonna do that then? Because how are you gonna get the power there? Because you don't really want to run multiple power supplies, because then you get in all kinds of power injection issues. And, well, I've talked about this a lot. But if you could make it 24 volt and then just put a few of these, or maybe a few of these, because, well, I bought a lot of them to test them, of course. Along the way, you could start with 24 volt, and that'll reach 50 meters without an insanely thick cable, or you could run multiple thinner cables, and then just have one of these each 10 meters, probably, with... yeah, you could probably do 10 meters, maybe every 5 meters. Well, okay, for 5 volt, probably every 5 meters, but you could use these spread out, and then need a lot less thick cable, because at some point these things will become cheaper than that cable alone, and also be a lot easier to work with. But as I said, I have some plans for that. It also kind of ties into what I'm planning with this thing, but no clue when that's ever going to be released, or just playing around with it. So, but hey, you're watching QuinBoxed, so you get some insights into intermittent technology and QuinLED stuff, and you know. Well, that's it. Going to be it for this video. I think we had all the packages. Yes, we did. I thank you very much for watching. As always, links in the description. If you use those for Aliexpress, it'll give me a little bit affiliate kickback, which, well, partly allows me to do these things. And I thank you very much for maybe purchasing, but especially certainly for watching. Bye-bye.